are capable enough to help him bring into reality the renewed hope template, or the renewed hope agenda that the president sold to Nigerians as a build up to the election. And of course, if you remember the budget for year 2024, when it was first presented as a budget proposal, it was tagged the renewed hope budget, and of course we all knew all of the drama that followed, but that's not what we're going to talk about on the show today. Yesterday, the chief political editor of Guardian newspaper was with me on the show, Mr. Miwade, and I was tired of a quick conversation around setting up, let me put it this way, more like a scorecard for the cabinet of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. 45 of them are talking about the ministers, both Minister of State and the federal, the federal minister themselves. And it's been a whole lot of conversation around competence, a lot of conversation around putting the right people at the right places, getting the right minds to handle all of these responsibilities. The truth is this, presiding over this country is no joke. It's not child's play. It's not something you accidentally fall into. It's something you need to prepare for. And the president was very clear when he was sworn in. He said, don't pity us. We begged for this job. We danced for this job. We lobbied for this job. Let us do what we're going to do, and then let's do what we promised Nigerians we are going to do. And the people that are supposed to make the job easier are the members of his kitchen cabinet, the ministers, the special advisors, the senior special advisors, the special assistants, the senior special assistants. These are individuals that are supposed to help the president to achieve all of the things he promised Nigerians as a build-up to the 2023 election. But then you also look at these individuals picked across all of the states. Some states have 2 representatives, some don't even have at all because of 1 or 2 issues. The immediate past governor of Plateau State, he was the Minister of Labor, but he won his election to represent a Plateau North Senatorial District in the National Assembly, and so he had to resign his responsibility as a minister, and he moved over, and of course of all of the drama around Kaduna State initially. But you look at the people we have on ground, and yesterday we started off with some of the key ministries that all of the ministries expected to have direct impact on Nigerians. But we started off with the Ministry of Power. Well, I've been in the news for the right or the wrong reasons, depending on what side of the divide you're looking at it from. Or let me put it this way, depending on what band you're operating on. If you are doing band A or band B, band C or band D, then you figure out how you perceive the Honorable Minister of Power. But yesterday, Mr. Miwade took us down memory lane. How all of these issues started, the privatization under former President WG=SOJO, the huge amount of taxpayers' monies that have been injected or have been invested into making sure that Nigerians enjoy steady power supply. We're not even talking of uninterrupted power supply now. We're talking of steady power supply, maybe 10 hours a day, 15 hours a day if you're lucky. I've made a joke all through the week, and I said I don't even know what band I belong to. Maybe I'm sure I'll be between Q and maybe S, because you don't explain how you get light maybe few hours in a whole 2 weeks or thereabouts in a space where they tell you that we're rotating light. 8 hours on, 24 hours off, and for those 8 hours you may not even smell it for 3 consecutive 8 hours. But hey, and I remember last week Thursday, the parting shot of Mr. Miwade was that if the president can fix the power challenges in this country and also sort the security issues that we have, that we fixed 60% of our problems. And by the time we were done yesterday, I couldn't agree less. I just knew that these 2 issues are so important to Nigerians. If we talk about food shortage that we're having, the food crisis that we're having, you can still link it to our low level of production. Industries are packing up. I have a friend that is into rice production, and we belong to a WhatsApp group, so we're having a conversation on the open platform, and it was like, that is how to let go of his bigger milling machine to go get a smaller one because he could not afford diesel to power the bigger. So what that means is that his production would drop, the quantity of what he does will also drop. I mean, it's a lot of problem. You also link it back to insecurity. I mean, the farmers can barely access their farms anymore. This month of April alone, I mean, you've lost count of number of farmers that have been killed in Benue, and that's supposed to be the food basket of the nation. That's supposed to be where, you know, the nation gets a large chunk of its supplies from tubers, that's yams, and a host of other, you know, farm produce. But the farmers can't go to farms. From Zamfara to Bauchi is a struggle. So you have a situation where these two key ministries, that's the Ministry of Defense and the Power Ministry, are directly having, you know, effect on Nigerians. A lot of small-scale businesses are folded up. The employers of 5, the employers of 10, the people that are supposed to stimulate the economy, the small-scale business owners and operators, they're struggling to keep their businesses going because, hey, you buy petrol for maybe, depending on where you stay, 570, 590, 635. Even in some part of the country, it goes as much as 700, especially in the far northern part of the country. So how do you sustain a small business that is barely even putting food on your table? So a lot of businesses are folded up because we're having issues of, you know, not being able to sort our power issues in this country. So we looked at the Ministry of Power yesterday. You look at the conversation around the increment in the tariff according to your band, according to the number of hours you receive electricity supply in a day. And well, a lot of Nigerians didn't feel comfortable with the statement of the Honorable Minister. That's Honorable Adebayo Adelabu, where he said Nigerians don't have the culture of consumption and all of that. But yesterday evening, by 7 p.m. yesterday, he was on national TV, and the first thing he said was to apologize to Nigerians for how what he said came out and how it was interpreted. He sincerely apologized, and he says, hey, I don't mean to come insult your intelligence. I understand how everybody's a bit touchy at the moment. The policies don't seem to be friendly to the people. In the midst of all of this chaos, you are still increasing the tariffs. But he later broke it down. He talked about the fact that around about 26 dams that are supposed to supply or generate electricity in the country. He also talked about the fact that there are damaged, NEPA poles, malfunctioning transformers. He said a lot of the challenges that we are facing. And then I asked a question, well, not to him directly though. I said the idea of, privatization is to open the market up. So if you say you've privatized for more than 10 years now, whose duty is it to replace those dilapidated NEPA poles? Whose duty is it to replace those transformers that are weak and they cannot sustain the electricity that is being pumped into it? I was confused when I was done with watching it yesterday now. But hey, well, we're hoping that the next couple of days, according to what the Honorable Minister said, that electricity supply will increase, that the country has the capacity to generate and distribute 6,000 megawatts. That's extremely low. But again, for a country that is struggling between 3,006, 3,007, 4,000, I'm sure sometime when it gets to 4,000, the national grid would collapse. So if the Honorable Minister says Nigeria will generate as much as 6,000 megawatts, hopefully things would get better. So we looked at the Ministry of Power yesterday. We looked at the Ministry of Agri and Food Security. The minister is actually Honorable Abubakar Kyari. We looked at their we looked at how agriculture needs to be made lucrative and mechanized and attractive to young people. When you have a system where old people or women are the ones farming and producing food for the country to consume, and we have a young population, about 60% of Nigerian population are young people within the ages of 18 and 39. So why can't the government make farming lucrative by providing loans and providing incentives and finding a way to make sure that when young people choose to go into farming, they do it on a large scale. They do it in a mechanized way whereby you don't have to carry your hoe and your cutlass and go to farm. Mr. Miwademi, made a lot of illustrations yesterday. If you missed the program yesterday, I can tell you for a fact that you really really missed the conversation. We also looked at the issue of defense. We looked at the Minister of Defense. We also looked at the Minister of State for Defense, that the immediate past governor of Zamfara State, His Excellency Muhammad Bello Matawalle, some of the challenges, and we stopped there yesterday. And of course, a lot of people really came hard on us that we didn't allow them to join the conversation. So I promised them yesterday that today we're going to set the template ourselves. We understand that the provision of the constitution says that Mr. President should choose his cabinet, but in as much as the cabinet of Mr. President are reporting to Mr. President directly, but are responsible to Nigerians. That's the fact. Because if they make policies, it is not to better the life of the president alone, it is to better the life of every single Nigerian, irrespective of what political party you belong to, or your tribal sentiment, or your religious affiliation. As long as you fall within this country, the sovereign coverage of this country, you should be taken care of by the government. The president is not the president of the Yoruba president. Is a president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So if the ministers are reporting directly to the president, which is what they should do, but they should also understand that whatever action or inaction they take affect Nigerians even more than the president. That's the fact. It affects Nigerians even more than the president. So it is for us to sit back and look at the past 8 months or thereabout that the ministers have been in office, 7 months and a few weeks. How have they performed? The Minister of Interior, what has gone wrong? All of a sudden, there are renewed complaints in respect to challenges of getting your passport. There's also the Minister of State for Petroleum, what is going on with petrol? The price of dollar is coming down. The cost of petrol is still remain what it is. The Minister of Finance and the coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edu, how are things going? You look at the market forces, the price of the dollar is coming down, but the price of items and goods in the market are still skyrocketing. Somebody made a post on one of the social media platforms yesterday, and he said when dollar was 1,008, a particular brand of drink was 1,000. No, it was 800, and now that dollar is 1,002. The particular brand of drink is now 1,001. So I'm wondering, maybe it's the drink that is replacing the dollar, on the upward, review. But I mean, a lot of conversation has also popped up on Monday. On Tuesday, I had Mr. Yinka Oscar. He's a banker, an economist, a public affairs analyst, join us in the studio, and I asked him, I said, why is it difficult for the government to set up monitoring or market regulatory price control agencies that will check? And he said the government cannot do that you can only control price in a place where you have vested interest, in the sense that you call rice farmers and say, you know what, the Bank of Industries will give you loans, and so you will buy rice, and because you're benefiting from that loan, you must not sell more than 50,000 naira. He said that is the only way the government can come in and control market prices. That as long as the government is not having a say or investing in how people are buying their stuff, people can sell at whatever price they buy what they are selling. And I didn't feel comfortable with that, but I understood where it's coming from. I mean, if I import fuel, for instance, at 400 naira per liter, you cannot tell me to sell at 400 naira because you didn't give me subsidy again. So I can dictate how. I understand also that, there should be, these things should have ceiling. Why would you wake up one day and buy a pack of spaghetti that we used to buy for 200 naira, 300 naira, for 1,100? Even the ones that are produced in the country. So we looked at all of that as well. So, let's continue for where we stop today. We're looking at the Ministry of Works. The immediate past governor of Ebonyi State, WH is holding forth in that space. And about 2 weeks ago, I had the privilege of traveling, across the Niger by road, and took me through Benin to Asaba to Anambra. Of course, went to Okano, Onitsha, and stayed the night in Asaba. And it's a road that I've really played a couple of times, and I'm going to tell you for a fact that those roads, it seems a little better right now. as a case where you spend so many hours at the Benin Road and you're stuck there, you cannot even figure out what is causing the issue. We look at the Minister of Works as well. We'll also look at Minister of Budget and Economic Planning. Why is it difficult for us to implement the increment in minimum wage? But when we want to increase the budget, they don't set up committee, but the president set up a tripartite committee to look into the upward review of the minimum wage. And where are we right now? We don't know anything yet. The NLC is not giving us update. The committee is also not giving us update. We look at the performance of that as well. We also look at the performance of the Minister of Transport. Also look at aviation and aerospace development. Festus Keyamo SAN is only fourth in that space. So I had to introduce that conversation so that you know where the show would go today. We'll open the phone lines as I promised yesterday. I know all through the week we barely had time to take responses, even to read messages, because of the quality of guests and engagement we've had on the show all through the week. So today is Friday. Let's get into the weekend. Well, for the people that spent 3 days on their holidays, we envy you. But I've always had my reservations about the number of public holidays we have in this country. But well, somebody said it's because I work in the media and we don't observe public holidays. That's why and I'm not. In 2017, I did a project with an agency, and one of the things we found out was that each time we shut down the economy on public holiday, we lose nothing less than 10.7 billion naira. Go check it. And that's a lot of money. So imagine all through this week now, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yesterday I read that Gombe State had added today to the public holiday. So the civil servants in Gombe literally had the whole week home, and then they resume on Monday. And if you understand how it works in those places, you know that the way civil service operates down south is absolutely different from the way it operates over there. But it's okay. For the people that enjoy their holidays, the ones that are just traveling back into town, we welcome you back to the hustle, but we know that the holidays are over. There are roads, there are cars everywhere in Lagos, and the traffic is also building up. So we welcome you back to Lagos. You have the weekend to relax and get set for Monday, where we go full-fledged again. So you can join the conversation. How would you assess the cabinet of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, especially the ministers? Of course, he appointed them. The Senate screened them. As some were dropped. The immediate past governor of Kaduna State, the former FCT minister, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, had a lot of petitions against his nomination, so he was dropped eventually, and a couple of other issues here and there. But the past 7 months, we've had ministers, and then we've seen it some week, I think day first thereabout, I saw the tweets of the former Kaduna State Senator Shehu Sani, acknowledging the fact that Abuja is wearing a new look. I've not been to the FCT since Nyesom Wike became minister, but Senator Shehu Sani said Abuja is wearing a new look. Some of the traffic lights at the major points are working. Well, that's one from the FCT minister. Let's see. You look at the Minister of Interior as well. Instead of really good, the whole review for the passport especially, I'll also be having meeting with the leadership of the immigration, civil defense, trying to link up with everybody to make sure that Nigerians are safe and protected. You may want to have an opinion about that. The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation has had its own share of issues. They suspended Honorable Betta Edu because of some issues, allegations of misappropriation of funds, or maybe funds were released without following the due process. It's still being investigated, and Nigerians are still waiting. This ministry is a very, very important ministry because some of the NSIPs that we have in this country are directly under this ministry, and so imagine where there's no, but let's leave that conversation. Let's talk about the ministries that have ministers, and let's talk about what you think their performances have been in the last 7 months that they've been ministers. Yes, I think everybody would certainly give some stick to the Minister of Power. Well, everybody wants electricity supply. You can't be working so hard in this country, and the little you are able to keep body and soul together, you have to go buy petrol, you have to go buy diesel. Companies are packing up. But like I said, I took my time and I watched his interview yesterday evening on national TV, complete, watched everything, and I was able to pick a couple of things and also hold him accountable for the promises he made. And he said that don't worry, Nigerians will increase our capacity to 6,000 megawatts and we can distribute, and there will be improvement in electricity supply. But now it's over for you. It's over to you to talk to us. What do you think of the cabinet of the president? Give us a scorecard and let's see what you feel about some of the ministers. Hello, good evening. Your name, where you calling from? Please put down the volume on your radio set. Okay.
My name is Matara.
You're welcome, Mr. Matara.
You see, the cabinet of our president Tinubu is a political cabinet, unfortunately. Who are expected to bring in democrats, the role of ethnic political affiliation. Nigeria is in a state now whereby we want to rescue this country. It's a bad thing. Unfortunately, what we're expecting from him was to bring in young dynamic members. Rather, it should be brought to political affiliation. What is said, look at what he did to a woman. That's the minister of the material affairs. Can you imagine that? That was a joke. Look at what the government did. He brought in he brought in national required, brought in million boys. They are expected him to bring in all these young boys. They are all about this country, even after the country, to help this country. You see, we have no country now. We don't know how to do this anymore. We are looking for somebody to rescue this country. If you want to do this, when you tell them to come and look at your boot, no. People that will stand and say, this is how to go. The only man I always see in this country now is Minister of War. Minister of War, I see in his cabinet that he did the right thing. That's the only thing I see. I don't tell you that cabinet, I don't know if I will predict it. Then I will try to remove power, try to do something which we actually watching. We don't know how it's going to find out. But I will pray that at the end of the day, we will not have enough property that we have now. But for Minister of War, I think he's following the right track. But let it be open. The most of his thing that we say, let it be more open. So that Nigeria will follow him. The way he's gone about the work, I think we like it. Like the name of the road now, the name that already open now. The rest is open now. The name of the others are open now. The man is doing a good job. He's going to encourage them. But see other ministers, look at the letter of Mike, and the minister of Mike. He read his office, he came to have been instead standing for president. He didn't keep it, he was talking to the president. He read his phone. That's the problem. So, after the cabinet or that cabinet concerned, it's a no-no. He practically except he just have to reduce his cabinet. For now, no. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, you gave credence to the Minister of Works. That's the immediate past governor of Ebonyi State. Well, the Tᴜɪ̀ᴛ Bridge is a beautiful spectacle to behold. And please drive safely when you are using that lane. Hello, good evening.
Okay, good evening.
Pastor, welcome.
It's a great day. Thank you. You see this issue of minister's performance. By the way, it was Fᴏʟᴏᴏ that completed the Lagos-Ibadan expressway. I have not tried the third mainland road, but they say it's that is by the way. For me, I have said it severally. That coastal project is a very good one, but for now it's a priority. Why? Because Nigerians need to eat first before they will try good road. Nigerians need electricity before they will try good road. Nigerians need good education before they will try good road. Nigerians need fuel. Nigerians need food before they will try good road. So Nigerians are very good people. Nigerians are very supportive people. Nigerians are very, once they can survive, they don't mind. But you see, talking about scorecard, for me, I saw the Minister of Interior working before that allegation of fraud came for him, because he tried as much as possible to make sure that you will get your passport within some few weeks. Am I correct? Until that fraud issue came, and the man has quietly kept quiet.
So, Pastor, let me take you a bit. Do you think the whole allegation or him being linked with the suspended Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, do you think it kind of really calmed all of the energy that the Minister of Interior started with?
It did, okay. It did. I'm not supporting what happened in his case, but it did. It affected him. You can see we've not heard his voice again. I think Nigerians generally, if they see you doing good, they will find a way to bring you down. If they see you doing bad, they will find a way to publicize it. That's the way I see it. Like I always say, I don't belong to a political party. I just want a better Nigeria. And even like you have always said, the dollar to the naira is about 1,100 and something now. We have not seen it. But why have we not seen it? Like you said, whether Nigeria is a capitalist market. It is force of demand and supply that determines. Do you know for the disparity between yellow and white that used to be 300-400? Now them are selling for 3,000. So what do I need white garri for? I go for yellow garri. We are still talking of all this. Healthcare are there. They are not allowing people to rest. Petrol price, I like petrol. I don't know how to in Ibadan like 500. But in a way, you are still buying for 50. And people carry fuel from here to Ibadan. So what has happened? So Nigerians themselves, they are shallow by nature. So in rounding up of where the ministers of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, if I want to give them scholarship, I want to be very sincere with you. I don't think any of them has performed as Nigerians expect them to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, maybe a lot of people may think, it's too early. I mean, it's a 4-year tenure. They still have a lot of time to settle down but hey, I mean, on the street they will tell you that Saturday that will be good. You will know from Friday. You have to check the indices. 7 months is a long time, and that's the truth. If really we say government is a continuum, they will understand that. There are handover notes. There are projects that have actually been started off but haven't been completed. If we say 7 months is too small to evaluate them, why are we saying some ministers are performing and some have gone missing in action? I mean, they were all sworn in and portfolios were assigned to them the same day. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good afternoon, okay?
You're welcome.
Can you hear me?
I'm with you. Your name, where are you calling from?
My name is Salah. I'm calling from Alagbati.
Okay.
Okay, you said that we want us to assess the ministers, Sadi. For me, they are 0 over 100, all of them. My reason is very simple. Let us start with Minister of Work. Can you hear me?
I'm with you.
Yes, the Minister of Work. This man caused us a lot of things that is hardship in this country. One, whether we like it or not, he has a hand in this cost of cement. Because by the time he announced that he wants to concrete road, this government took over at the time when cement was 4,300. Subsidy is gone, it moved to 5,300. At the time this man announced that he's going to do concrete road, this made 10,000 naira. This is number one. Maybe someone would argue that Third Mainland Bridge is just 11.5 kilometers, if I'm right. And at the cost of 25 billion. So an average of 2.2 billion per kilometer. Is that not a scam? That not a scam? 2.5, 2.2 or 2.1, 2.2. billion per kilometer. If I can get it right. This is number one. So it's nothing to clap about. This is number one. Number two, let us listen to Minister of Finance. Minister of Finance, okay, you are aware that there was publication last month that about 732 companies closed down from the day when this government took over. Then why is the coordinating Minister of Finance and Economic whatever. If there is good economic plan, I don't think that 732 kilometers, companies will close down. This is number one. As we speak, okay, we keep our hand into our foreign reserve and remove about $1 billion to defend Naira. So, is that the economy? This is like economy now. So, for me, I don't think there is nothing to clap for him. Number three, that is Minister of Budget and Planning. You are aware that there is there is controversy in the National Assembly about 2.7 trillion pardon. They can't pardon a budget without knowledge of Minister of Budget and Planning because he's the input of the budget. It has, you understand? So you can't claim that he's not aware of that pardon. You can't pardon a budget without Minister of Budget and Planning. This is number two. Number three, let us move to Minister of Defense. You are aware, sometime last year, a bandit gone down or shot down a helicopter with about 80 combat soldiers on board. Killed them, you understand? But the Ministry of Defense came out and denied it. But even them, they acknowledge that 37 soldiers were killed, they are on board. No nation, no serious nation that can afford to lose their soldiers, about 37 of them, just like that in the hand of criminals. This is number one. Number two, you are aware that just after now, at this moment, we are still struggling to see how calm will return to Delta, the community. 17 soldiers were killed. All these are acts of insecurity. You are also aware of people, just innocent Nigerians. They are just on their own, celebrating their festivities. They are just from nowhere. They killed them. They bombed them. About 125 people were killed. No nation can afford such people. Serious nation will just allow such people to go. You understand? All this happened under watch of Minister of Defense. You understand? This is number one. Number two, you are aware today one of the newspaper reported that our own exploration has dropped 1.2 barrels per day. Our quota, Opey quota is 1.7. So we are short of 500,000 barrels. So how can we reach on such a mistake? Okay? That is the Minister of Defense for you. You get me? Can I move ahead to
Engineer you've touched
So you know one thing is that for such things to happen, for this kind of thing today, it's making 11 months of this government. By next month, in 1 year or 29th of May. You understand? So all of the ministers, as you are now, you are a journalist, a qualified professional. If they give you an exam to write, wouldn't that mean the name of ministers or the head ministers? I think you have to go to Google and get some of the name because of their redundancy. You understand? So we don't know. I don't know. There is nothing. There is nobody among them. Look at the cost now. We are talking of $4 million per kilometer. That is $4 billion. $4 billion naira per kilometer. That is some of the kilometer. Okay. Lagos Ibadan Expressway. It took a political win by Buhari to support that road completely.
Thank you, Engineer Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. You've done very well. You've picked almost about 6 ministries to x-ray their performances. Well, maybe at the end of the show, we look at the ones that have impressed Nigerians, or the ones that have just gone missing in action. 45 ministers. And just like Engineer Salau said, maybe by the virtue of the job that we do, we know quite a lot of them, but there are a lot of Nigerians that cannot straight up probably call like 20 or 25 of the ministers, because a lot of people don't even have an idea of what they are doing. It's not about you not being interested in social media or no. Nigerians need to know what your ministry is up to. That's the truth. Hello, good evening. You're welcome. Mr. Charles, good to have you on the show today.
Somebody said the Minister of Interior has quietly gone down. That when you are doing well, Nigerians will find a way to bring you down. The allegation level against me is it true or false? That's what we said. Not about whether he was performing before or was not performing. Allegation was level against him. And the man police, he is guilty. Because this is why he quietly gone back in that time. He's not making any noise the way he was talking before. Just kept quiet because of this allegation level against him. That's an allegation against him. So let them investigate it and find out whether it's true or false. What they are accusing, was it true or not? Now that suddenly that because he is doing well, Nigeria has a way of bringing somebody who is performing well, they bring him down. No. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If you work, your works would speak for you. It's not about whether you have been brought down or not. Well, different strokes are for different folks. A lot of people feel like, oh, the minister of interior gone cold or whatever it is, but he's still working. I follow him on all of the social media space. By the way, today is the birthday of his wife. Well, yes, happy birthday to you, Mrs. Olubumitunji, the wife of the Honorable Minister of Interior, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. My name is Lɪධᴇ.
You're welcome.
Well, for now, I can't call most of the ministers. But when people come on air to criticize or to lambast them, I just require most of us to come on air back to the time of General Babangida and the People's Bank issue. That's just like it. Everybody knows the story. So it's not easy to be a minister. So we should stop castigating there. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Jojo, thank you. He said it's not easy to be a federal minister, so we should stop castigating them. I'm not sure that's what this program today is about. I think we all agree that it's going to be a score space, you know, where we all have an idea of what the ministers have been up to. We all have an idea of what some of these ministries have been up to. The ones that have been up and running, the ones that have, you know, probably not really kick-started, or the ones that are even working on the low and we don't know so much of what they do. That's what we're talking about on the show today. It is not a space to criticize any minister, but if there's anyone that you feel has not done enough, you're entitled to your opinion. You can be civil about the criticism. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
You're welcome.
Okay, I don't want to be one of those that are laughing like Cheshire cats in the country today because of the seeming falling trend of the exchange rates. They are attributing some advantage to the Nigerian naira, which it does not possess, which does not exist. They took it from a level in 2015 below 200 per dollar. It has reached 800 naira before the present president took over the mantle from his accolades in 2020. And all of a sudden it rose to what we thought almost 2,000, and they brought it. It has continued to go down to less than 1.2, and they are saying it is going down. Are they not aware that banks have started shedding the lead time? The time between which we make our transfer payment and the time that our recipient gets the money. Are they not aware that sometimes when you want to use your USD, you see that some banks are not even listed and you can cannot do that? Is that not sending tsunami signal? Is it not sending telephone signal
Sorry, there's a lot of noise where you are. Maybe you can change your location, or you try and call me back. I'm really struggling to hear what you're saying. 0913-600-0410 is the Situation Room, the Friday edition, the last one for the week. And because of how congested it's been all through the week on the show, we've barely had time to talk to the people, which obviously are the most important part of this conversation. We decided to open it up a little bit today and just look at the performance of the ministers of the kitchen cabinet of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It's going to be a year next month that he's been sworn in as president, and 7 months down the line we have ministers, 45 of them across board, several ministries: works, housing, transport, Greek and food security, FCT, state for petroleum, power, all of them. What do you make of their performances in the last 7 months that they've been in office? Hello, good evening. Hello? Hello? Okay, I think I got a bit. You can try and call me back as well. Hello, good evening. Okay, I have some messages that I have to read as well. I will stream it live. Go on facebook.com/Nola98.3 FM and drop your comments. I'm seeing them already. I will read them, but let me pick more calls. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
You're welcome. Your name and where you calling from?
John from Oba.
Okay.
Okay, we are talking about the performance of the ministers that were appointed for me, there is no scorecard to be seen. I can't measure them with anything that they have done. I can't see anything that they have done. Is it right? Is it defense? Is it power? Which one of them can you see there that since they have come on board, it has improved? There is nothing. All I see is that, all I have noted is that it is just for the boys, just for the boys, and that is it. Just come and teach you all to do, and probably when you say you see what is over, another will come on board. That is the way it is, and that's the way it has always been, except during the Obasanjo era, honestly. But during this money and this present one, it has always been like that. It's only God that will rescue us from their hands. Thank you.
Thank you very much. 091-3600-0410. Keep the calls coming in. Let's look at what we have. The past 11 months of the president, the past 7 months of his cabinet. How far have we come? So far, how good? Hello, good evening.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm